Hi, I'm Nick with Magic Chef. Today we're going to go ahead and replace a fan belt on your 1.5 or 2.6 cubic foot Magic Chef dryer. The model numbers for these units are MCS DRY15W and MCS DRY1S. If you notice the dryer shutting down and after a few minutes of use, or not blowing any air out of the back exhaust vent, it might be time to replace your fan belt. The fan belt will help circulate the air throughout the dryer. Tools that are needed to replace the fan belt is a set of gloves, a drill with a Phillips bit, and a T20 Torx bit. Now let's go ahead and access the belt. Once we have access to the back of the unit, the first thing you should do is remove the exhaust cover. Once you have the exhaust cover removed, we'd be able to remove the back panel of the unit. It's important to note that you should wear gloves during this part because that metal is very sharp. Let's go ahead and remove that panel. Now that we have access to the back of the unit, what you'd want to look for is the clear belt located directly in the center of the drum and connecting to the pulley. If this belt is broken or loose, the fan will not be able to circulate air, which will cause the unit to overheat and shut down. If you see the belt broken or very loose, I would say it's time to replace it. From here, we're going to want to remove the belt. Removing the belt, it's always best to start from the top and guide it down. Once you guide it off of the pulley system, you'll have access to the belt. The belt is still going to be locked because of the support beam. Let's go through the steps on removing it from the support beam. Once you have the belt off of the pulley, we want to make sure we get it through the support beam. So the first step would be removing the 3 Phillips screws off of the bottom of the support beam. From there, you can take the support beam off and you want to loop the belt through the bottom of the beam. At this point, there's still 2 Phillips screws holding in the fan. We want to go ahead and remove those screws as well. Once you remove those screws, we can feed the belt through the bottom of the support beam. At this point, I like to go ahead and screw those screws back in, both the 2 screws under the support beam and the 3 screws at the bottom of the support beam. So let's go ahead and do that. Once we have the screws back in place, you'll see some wire ties holding in some of the sensor assemblies. We're going to go ahead and remove that wire tie. Once we remove the wire tie, you want to lift the belt up, and then you can go ahead and put your wire tie back on. Now that we have the bottom portion disassembled, you'll see that there's 2 more screws for the top of the fan here, and then 3 Phillips screws at the top of the support beam. You want to remove those as well. Now that we have those screws removed, you can feed the belt through. Through the top as well. You can go ahead and screw those screws back in. The final step, you'll see the wire tie at the top. You want to go ahead and remove that wire tie. And then you'll have the belt. If you see any tears or cracks in the belt itself, or if you see the belt very loose, it was definitely time to replace. Now we can go ahead and reinstall the fan belt. And the first step we'll do on this part is we'll start from the top and work our way down. So you want to remove the 3 Phillips screws and the 2 Phillips screws in the middle. Once you have those screws, we can feed the new belt through. And then we can go ahead and reassemble those screws. Once we have the screws back in, you can go ahead and zip tie the sensor back. Now we can work our way towards the bottom. In the back of the center of the support beam, you'll see that there's another pulley system. So we want to make sure that we wrap the belt around the pulley and then repeat that same operation for the bottom. We'll remove the zip tie again. Then we're going to feed the belt through the bottom of the support beam. From here, you'd want to go ahead and feed it through so it's accessing just the middle. We can put our screws back in. And then we can put our wire tie back. Once we have our wire tie on, you can go ahead and start from the bottom this time, putting the belt on, and then wrap it around the pulley. Now that we have our belt on and it's tight, we can go ahead and secure the back plate of the unit. Now you would just reassemble your exhaust vent, and then you could go ahead and run the unit. Thank you for taking the time to watch our fan belt replacement video. If you would like to order the fan belt, you could do so at www.mcappliance.com or through our part distributor at www.partstown.com. The link for the fan belt will be below in the description field. If you have additional questions on the product itself or on the parts, you can go ahead and reach out to us at 888-775-0202. A customer service representative will be more than happy to help. If you are going to be replacing the fan belt, it's best to replace the drum belt as well. You could check out our drum belt replacement video. Thank you.